Thank you, French Shalom, and greetings to you all. I hope you all had a great week. Now, this week's Baruch's birthday, and I'm sure we all wish him a great one. You know, birthdays come, birthdays go, birthdays just one thing you ought to know. You'll always have a special place in my heart. Yes, you will, and it's been there from the start. I'm thinking of you, yes I am, but in the real world, not in Instagram. Whatever is and whatever else may come. Never hide from yourself, never succumb. Now his name means blessing. Does not succumb to fear, to darkness, to limitation. So have a fantastic birthday. Now we're a week away from Thanksgiving, a time to be with family and friends, to honor the bounties that are with us in life, to share and celebrate gratitude for the gifts of God. I was talking to someone about Thanksgiving the other day, about getting together with family and about the ancient belief that we picked our parents. And she was adamantly opposed to the thought because of all those who seem to have picked lousy ones. I told her it was for the lessons we needed in this lifetime. And even if they stunk, forgive your parents. And thank life for giving you such good teachers for your development. Now, forgiveness is so important and yet so misunderstood and so hard to come by. And we will see it emphasized again this week. Now, we're about a week away from the Festival of Miracles, Hanukkah, when we should take a moment and light the candles that emphasize growing light in our lives, light that allows us to see and not be afraid, to honor the miracles that occur throughout our lives, but which we rarely stop to acknowledge or to celebrate. It's the week we gather and celebrate spirit, the spirit and power of creation. Now, one thing Genesis tells us was not in existence, light. Always more powerful than dark, my friends. Have you noticed that in a dark room, one little light can drive away the fear of darkness? But in a room full of light, darkening it a little doesn't have an effect. We all know the story of the recapturing of the temple from the Greeks and how there was only enough oil to light the great menorah for one night. And yet it burned for 8, the miracle of Hanukkah. That's why the menorah or Hanukkah lit for the holiday is different from the temple menorah, having 8, not 7 spaces, plus 1, giving 9. That 9th serves as the shamash, the helper light, which lights the others. The story is well told in the Talmud, in Shabbat 21b, if anybody wants to read it. And there are really 2 miracles to the story. The first, the 1 day of oil burning for 8 days, and that's a miracle. The second, the amazing military victory of the small force over the great force. One was the physical battle. We all have ongoing physical challenges and battles in our lives. The other is the spiritual battle. Boy, do we have those. And this is the battle of the force of light over the forces of dark. And that is the battle many fight their entire lives. Let's face it, the dark is usually easier. And it is a reminder of the miracles we all have that occur in our lives all the time. We have each of us had those. These aren't the droids you're looking for moments, the miracles that occur. Now, sometimes we're told we only live once. That's wrong. We only die once, but we live every day. Friends, make every day count and count the miracles that you too often take for granted. And let's make these days count when we come together as a community, a collective consciousness of seekers showing faith, any and all faith, love, any and all love, true chavura, a fellowship expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes, unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light and keeping fear at bay. And even though together we're individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her own way, and I will always encourage you to be independent in how you approach these things, we are still connected as a group. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody you know, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Shevet Achim Gam Yad. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yad. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world, my friends. Remember, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own personal sacred space to honor and converse with whatever you happen to believe in, and we all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah. It's that intention we all have that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control, of what you can correct in your lifetime. Your intention sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives, my friends. Take some time now. Use that intention. Send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal for everyone. It just floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. That tikkun olam, healing of the world, that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. We have to help heal. It is not something we can ever complete. It is just one of those ongoing tasks of this lifetime. It is there for every lifetime. And we each must do our own part. Do what you can to improve and change your own little corner of the world, because as you change yourself, you change the conditions of your life and you change all the people around you. Now, part of that healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal, goodwill for everyone. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send out energy for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for John and Gaynor, for Gloria, who we also hope has an awesome birthday, for Terry, for Kyle, for Connie, Daniel, Joseph, Aurelia, for Luke, for Kathleen and James, for Dave and Lori, for Anna, for all of our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everybody you know in need, for the whole world, and for the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Avotenu Makor Vivotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Baruch, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal us as healed before. Misha Baruch, may he who blessed. Because all healing is a blessing. So let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, in reading about this family, we've had an insight into biblical life we've never had before. Jacob was in a quandary. We watched him. He fell in love. He wanted to marry Rachel. He'd worked 14 years to do so. I'm wild again. Beguiled again. A simpering, whimpering child again. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered. Am I couldn't sleep, wouldn't sleep until he could sleep where he shouldn't sleep. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. This week we're going to read Vayeshlach, and he sent. Jacob's now on his way. He's married, he's got his kids, he's got his wealth. He's left his uncle Laban's. So we pick up where we left off. We have him with his 2 wives, possibly 2 others in Zilpah and Bela, usually referred to simply as the maids or concubines, but very well could have been 2 other wives. The 12 children. He's on the road. What he does not know is that he's on the road to losing 1 child, getting another, and in that moment losing the love of his life. But he is the prodigal son, and he is returning home. A prodigal son once strayed from his father to travel a land of hunger and pain. Now I can see the end of my journey. I'm going to heaven again. Now, what's most interesting? An X-ray's taken and presented to us of the soul of this patriarch. We see his nature, his personality, his character. Journeys often are used in literature to show the growth and development of characters. They're not always positive. One of the brilliant things of the Jewish Bible is the Torah does not take the flaws of man and cover them up. We see them each for who they are. Now, it seems like the integrity and strength of character diminishes with each succeeding generation of patriarch, or is it that there is simply more challenges in life that we each must face? He knows he's going to see his brother, who he stole the birthright and blessings from, and has stayed in fear of for these past 20 years. Genesis 32:4. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother in the land of Seir, the steppes of Edom. And he charged them, saying, Thus shall you say to my lord Esau, Thus says your servant Jacob, With Laban I have sojourned and tarried till now. I've gotten oxen and donkeys and sheep and male and female slaves, and I send ahead to tell my lord to find favor in your eyes. Messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to your brother, to Esau, and he's actually coming to meet you. And 400 men are with him. And Jacob was greatly afraid, and he was distressed. And he divided the people that were with him, and the sheep and cattle and the camels, into 2 camps. And he thought, should Esau come to the one camp and strike it, the remaining camp will escape. He's afraid. He has carried that fear for 20 years so far. And so he's prepared to sacrifice half of his loot so that the other half survives. He appeals to God. With my staff I crossed the Jordan, now I've become 2 camps. Save me from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him. For he thought, let me placate him with the tribute that goes before me, and after I shall look on his face, perhaps he will show me a kindly face. Friends, this was pure projection. When we project us onto them. These are the demonstrations of life. These are the behaviors and beliefs of Jacob, not Esau. How many decisions do we make based on us, not them? The great writers and sages of history have continued the projection that Jacob was a saint and Esau a sinner. Nothing written actually supports any of that. Perhaps your greatest miracle this season is the realization of how much of this type of projection you do, the you, onto them. Now he breaks his camp of 2 into 4 for very good reason. Then he's left alone, where the dream occurred 20 years ago, the dream of the ladder. Genesis 32:24. And Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the break of dawn. He saw that he had not won out against him, and he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip socket was wrenched as he wrestled with him, and he said, "Let me go, for dawn is breaking." He said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." I said to him, "What's your name?" He said, "Jacob." And he said, "Not Jacob shall your name hence be, but Israel, for you have striven with God and men and won out." Now Jacob also asked the Spirit's name, but he will not say. Friends, did he wrestle with anyone, or did he simply fight with his own dark night of the soul? Perhaps it's both. Stories will tell you that he fought with an angel. Could have been an angel, could have been a spirit, could have been his dark self. Now you could stop here and spend days, weeks, years discussing this wrestling match, because we go through those same wrestling matches in our own lives. How often have we wrestled with our own dark night of the soul? But this is just the beginning of our understanding of this man, this last of the three great patriarchs. Genesis 33:1. And Jacob raised his eyes and saw, and look, Esau was coming. And with him were 400 men, and he divided the children between Leah and Rachel, and between the two slave girls. He placed the slave girls and the children first, and Leah and her children after them, and Rachel and Joseph last. So here's his four groups. He placed them in order of his willingness to sacrifice and lose his wives and children. So he puts the concubines and their children first, then Leah and her children, and finally Rachel and Joseph at the very end. Genesis 33:4. Esau ran to meet him, embraced him, and fell upon his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Jacob had spent his life in fear of his brother, who had let go of any anger that he actually had. He forgave and he loved. And Esau said, "Let us journey onward and go. Let me go alongside you." And he said, "My Lord knows that the children are tender, and the nursing sheep and cattle are my burden. And if they are whipped onward a single day, all the flocks will die. Pray, let my Lord pass on before his servant, and let me drive along at my own easy pace, at the heels of the livestock before me, the heels of the children, till I come to my Lord and Savior." And Esau said, "Pray, let me set aside for you some of the people who are with me." And he said, "Why should I find such favor in the eyes of my Lord?" And Esau returned that day on his way to Seir, while Jacob journeyed on to Sukkot. And he built himself a house. For his cattle he made sheds. Therefore is the name of the place called Sukkot. So Jacob uses excuses to have Esau return home. Esau, all he wanted to do was go back with Jacob, go together. But Jacob says, no, I gotta take care of the kids and the animals, and I don't want to hold you up. You go. Esau goes home. Jacob turns and runs in the opposite direction. Motivation of fear. The terrible things that it can do to us. And Jacob came in peace to the town of Shechem. And here the only daughter he ever had will die. What has falsely been called the rape of Dinah. It's an amazing tale. It is not of violence and anger and rape, but of love with a very sad twist at the end. I thought love was more or less a given thing. Seems the more I gave, the less I got. What's the use in trying? All you get is pain. When I needed sunshine, I got rain. They're defining moments in our lives, my friends. Jacob's defining moments stem from defining questions. He asks his mother, what if he were caught in the deception of his father? And she assuages him. He's asked by his father that soul-revealing question, who are you? He'll be asked by the angel, what's your name? Not Jacob, a twister, grabber, grifter, but Israel, one who struggles with God. And friends, who does not struggle with God? And unlike other biblical name changes, he is continued to be called by both names because he is both. And he will ask the angel what his name is, never to be given an answer. And here, when he loses the one daughter he had, his sons take revenge, and he blames them for putting him in an awkward position. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your wish, light a candle, celebrate your life, the lives of those you love. Express your gratitude. Share feelings with the people who mean something to you. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. These are your rights. Share and honor the light, and all who live in the light. Continue to shine. Don't judge anybody. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everybody. An end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this right together, men and women, equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do. Learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts. Honor the relationship of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have and enjoy the journey, because we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now remember, we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything's linked. You always have time to forgive and be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? Because if you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. You're moving towards your own promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love, because it's always in front of you. And remember to have faith. It is an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand the heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Let's make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you, because you're never alone, and you are blessed with the ability to bring blessings to everybody. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. We're all part of a greater whole. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief in what they mean to you. And never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other, because we are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them, tell them what they mean. Remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. Keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Forgiveness is the great gift of God, the mechanism that we can engage, which truly will change your life. But I'm learning to live without you now. But I miss you sometimes. The more I know, the less I understand all the things I thought I knew. I'm learning again. I've been trying to get them to the heart of the matter, but my will gets weak and my thoughts seem to scatter. But I think it's about forgiveness, forgiveness, even if you don't love me anymore. Yes, my friends, forgiveness might be the miracle you've been waiting for. Thank you for joining me. Have a great week. Keep sharing the light. Keep exercising forgiveness. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving. Believe in yourself and in love. Have a little faith. Continue to spread goodwill to the world. And get ready to celebrate the holiday miracles, because you may not realize it, but you are the miracle in someone's life. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.